folks, Modman here and welcome back to the workshop. Now I've been asked by a few people to show how I put together my portable water fed system. So I've done a quick rundown here for you guys. If you need any more info on it, just give me a hoy in the comments and I'll try and answer you on that. So all said and done, let's get into it. So this here is the unit without the hose reel or the barrel of water. What I have here is a little toolbox section here. This has got 3 drawers. One I use for storage, the other 2 has the battery and the pump in it, which I'll show you in a moment. The barrel sits on top here, the hose reel hangs off the handle here. Now at the back here we have this part here, this hose here. The water comes from the barrel, pumped through the pump, back out of the system, and then this clicks onto the hose reel, which sits up here, and you're away. So I'll just explain all this stuff to you now. First of all, I'll take the bottom drawer out. Now this drawer here is a storage unit. You can get a 2-unit section on this, so you don't have to have this bottom drawer. This is a 3 drawer, so the bottom one I basically use for storing anything I want in here. Previous to the weapon pads, I had all the push fits and things like that related to the system stored in here. Now I've got the weapon, this is where I hold all my spare unused weapon pads in here. It's actually getting a little bit light. I might actually have to restock that. But that's the weapon pads in there. That clicks off and it slides straight back in. Now these 2 drawers are joined together, so as they come out, it pulls the hoses from behind, comes out here. Now I've joined these 2 together. You'll notice here that they are actually 2 boxes. Now I have cut out the first one, as you can see there, to the shape of the battery and the pump to fit those in. So that's cut through there. So the top one is then screwed to the bottom one. Actually, I've just cable tied. Actually, I did this years ago, so I've forgotten what I even did. So I've cable tied the top and the bottom together. Becomes one drawer. If you can find a unit that has a drawer that's big enough already to take this stuff, there's no need to cut it out, etc. Okay, so there's the little pump. Couldn't even tell you what it does. This one has been the original pump. I've had this for many years. This is only a small 6.5 amp hour battery. It has to be recharged every night. If you want a bigger one, obviously sort yourself out a bigger system. But this is fine for a little portable unit. It's got a little on and off switch here, and recharging points here and here, which just takes a little the alligator clips and the recharging unit. Alright, now that just folds back down and simply gets put back in, making sure the hoses don't get caught in behind. Now this unit can take either a 25 litre or a 20 litre barrel of pure water. So it's an on and off system. Take the empty barrel off, replace it with a full clean barrel of water. Lift on the full barrel, take your lid off, you can pop into one of these little pockets at the back. Take the your hose here. This hose here has the lid already attached. So you take the lid off of the clean barrel, just pop it in one of these little pockets here off the reach at trad pad, and take this this hose. I just cut a hole in the lid there, and this lid here permanently stays on this hose. So that pops in there. Make sure it's pushed down to the bottom. I usually have a PVC pipe sitting on here but Tom's misplaced it at the moment. It's probably in the bottom of one of the barrels. That just keeps the hose from curling up and sucking air, but you get the idea. That runs in, screw it off, put the safety strap on. A hose reel sits on here. We then take the part here, the push fit here, hose fitting, clicks into your hose reel, and away you go with that. Now this is completely portable. Flick it back and away you go. Let's suppose this is now empty. Unstrap it. Take this off. Take the empty barrel off. Grab a fresh barrel, full barrel, goes back on, hook your hose back in. There may be a slight airlock in the pump because of taking that in and out, but it only takes a few seconds to catch up. Now you can, if you wish, instead of putting the hose up the top here, you can grab the plug that's usually at the front here. It's on this. It's at the back on this particular one, and you can plumb into there instead of into there if you wish. Then you're saving dragging water up against gravity. It's basically coming straight out and around and off. Now the barrels I keep. There's the hose reel that sits on the handle. Now the barrels I keep in under here. I can keep 4 full barrels in there plus 1 on the machine, so that's 125 litres of pure water I can carry with me at any one time. If you don't want to do the lift off, lift back on system, you can use a siphon hose to siphon out of those barrels into this one and leave it in place, fill it up. You could even have a buffer tank in here, which is what I'm planning to do at some point. Have that whole thing a buffer tank. Then I may well just siphon straight out of that, or pump out of the buffer tank into the empty barrel, and away you go. Now I use the Flow Red to create my pure water. That sits in there. If I've got access to water on the property, if I know I'm going to be using a lot of water, I'll just plug the Flow Red straight in. If I am at a remote area, I may be using bore water, tank water, dam water, etc., then I know I've always got 100 litres or so of pure water with me. Alright, so let's now have a look at the Reach It Mega Clip system that I use on the trolley here. Okay, as you can see here, well, let's have a look at that. That's the Mega Clip system right there. Now this one is the old style Reach It trad pad holder, so it doesn't have the Mega Clip system on it, so I've just screwed this one in place. That's fine. I've got the smaller belt mounted trad pad system on my belt, so I can just take what I need from here, put it into my belt, and then when I'm remote, I've got trad pads in my belt at all times. But having the bigger trad pad system strapped to your water fed unit makes a big difference. Just to put your hand straight onto the pad you want when you want it. It also has these pockets here. Now this pocket here is basically just holding that for time being, but it also does hold my spanners for tightening up the clamps, for example. The lids, it holds the trad pad Unga trad pad adapters. You can hold whatever you like in there. Hold your water bottle if you want. Now it also holds things like the reload, Reach It Reload. That clips straight onto there like that. Now what that means is I can carry 2 brushes with me at any one time. I can pop in the 16-inch all-rounder while I'm using the 14-inch, the 12-inch, sorry, weapon brush, window weapon brush. If I need to change out to something bigger, all I've got to do is come back to my trolley instead of back to my van and grab out the 16-inch. Now that just comes straight off with a click of a finger. And that can now be put on my belt. It can be put back in the van. It can be put wherever you have this system in place. For me, I've got one here, I've got one in my van, I've got one on my belt, so that's handy for me at all times. So now, because my trad pole compacts down nice and small, it's really nice and sweet to sit right in that spot there. Absolutely perfect. Alright folks, so there you go. There's a quick rundown on my system. Now, as I said, it's a very, very simple system. A pump, a battery, and a barrel of water. That's basically it. Charge the battery overnight and it's ready to go for the next day. Refill your barrels with your system of water fed system. Mine's the Reach It Flow Red, and you just keep your barrels topped up with pure water, your battery charged, your pump serviced, and you're ready to go. So I hope that's helped you guys with thoughts of putting your own together. Alright, so this is MODMAN. Give that a go.